It is time to finish Path of Exile. Well, at least the campaign part. So, Act 10, let's go. So, starting right off, we're going to just go exit over here. Right from the cathedral rooftop. Go up and to the left over here.
I'm not up to that just yet.
And we'll see that Bannon needs our help. But everything should be getting basically one-shotted. There we go. Talk to him. Oh, we're getting hit by some poison. And then he's going to tell us to meet him at the docks, but we're just going to continue going to the right. We can talk to him later. So there's basically a hub that we'll get to that has all the areas that we need to go to. Is it 64, 67? Okay. Should be about level 70 once we finish the campaign. We also have our third lab to do, and we'll do that towards the very end. And the fourth lab will actually be something that's way easier to do via just getting the offering to the goddess, which I'll show you guys how to do that later. This is an item that you can trade for, and then you can skip out on doing all of the trials, but you only really need to do one trial at the very end. Oh, what drop? Please be a divine orb. Please be a... Oh. They gave us a divine orb. Okay. So, a divine orb right now. Let's see, what is it worth? No, this has got to be on... Okay, this is definitely standard. Okay, so it's... Yes. Oh, okay, here we go. So, we need to not be on... We need to be on Ancestor. Okay. So... Oh, do I have to reset? Okay, I don't know why, for whatever reason, it's selecting standard. Okay, let's see. So, I was looking at the price of it, and I was like, okay, so it's like 150. So this one item is worth 150 Chaos Orbs, which basically means with just that one item, we can set up a whole gear. What I would normally do, and I'm not going to do it now because that would kind of make the walkthrough. I mean, like, I'm going to destroy everything in one hit anyways, to be honest. The boss, though, would be way easier if I just spent my, like, you know, super awesome, like, this is almost like, in this game, think of it kind of like a $100 bill. The Chaos Orbs were like a $1 bill, and this is like a $100 bill, even though it's worth more than 100. It's kind of like the in-game currency that, like, people will trade at the very end. But I'm not going to just spend it all right now, because it would make the play session, like, not fair. But these will always go up in price, usually. But that's going to make things way easier. Alright, so, where do we need to go from here? So, at the very beginning, we're going to go to the Ossuary, and it's going to have a trial to do. So, that's one quest that we need to do. We go down to the Bone Pits. So, Trial of Ascendancy in this area. That was a really nice little pickup. There's also this, but we don't even really need this. It's a small reward, optional thing, but we're really just here for the trial. And we found it, because once you see the little book on the mini-map, it's usually when you're in the right direction. So we got that elixir over here, but...
A leader cannot simply stride forward into the future and expect his people to be able to follow. A leader must look over his shoulder.
What I'll recommend everyone to do is to get Immortal Flesh. It's one Chaos Orb, and whenever you see any of these little puzzles, like these arrows that hit you will slow you down by a significant amount, and they do pretty substantial damage. But if you just get Immortal Flesh, then you can just tank all of it. Remember, it's like 300 HP per second.
An emperor must know precisely
which
where
is
he stands.
Massive. So we're pretty much done with this. We have a couple items we can turn in just for extra little rewards. Most of the rewards are pretty like mid. However, This one over here, if we can get an onslaught flask, that'll be kind of good for later. So I'm going to grab that. And there's probably a bunch of other NPCs to talk to. Okay. And we have 2 passive respec points. One of the quests, but again, it's not really that important to use right now. But that one item that we had from, I don't know how long ago, it just wasn't selling for, I think this. We lower it to like 15. Oops. Okay, let's go 14. Let's see. What is it selling for? Oh, it's selling for like 14. So if we sell it for 13, in theory, someone will whisper us faster. I just want to get rid of it. It's going to be worth a lot less later. There are some items that go up in price, like Divine Orbs will go up in price. That item will more likely go down in price. There are certain exceptions if like some streamer, again, does some really like weird build where it requires like that specific like item, then it can jump up in price. Alright, so like I said, the Ravaged Square is kind of our hub. So we're not going to be able to progress here until we get rid of the Catawba's Horns. Okay, so someone already wants to buy my item because I'm listing it for a little bit cheaper. And so we will go sell it to him. So there'll be lots of times where we might have to go back just for a second. And like this is more towards like the end game where someone wants to buy an item. We just go to teleport towards the person's hideout. And we'll go to trade, and then we will give him the item, and he will give us our 13 Chaos Orbs, which is awesome. And then we will go right back to where we need to go. We need to leave the current party. Alright, so now we will go back into our portal. And if you take too long sometimes, or if you go too many different areas, or you take too long, your portal could maybe go away. Like if you're in someone else's game for too long, you make a portal in their game or whatever. Ooh, you need to move out of that. Ooh, that could have been death. The last boss may kill us a couple times. It's because the last boss, I mean, you can build defenses for it, but we'll see. We'll see if we get lucky with some of the dodges or evades. So now we're in the Torch Courts over here. Killing the final like rebuild version of like the statue guy. We're just killing stuff in the Torch Courts and just moving down. Oh, where did we go with that? Oh, nice Chaos Orb. I'm so glad we got one Divine Orb because that will be significantly good for us to get some upgrade pieces. And if you got a Divine Orb, well, you can start looking at maybe getting a 6-link item. We're probably just going to go for a really good bow and then get a sort of bad 6-link chest piece. You can get 2 6-links if you want. You can throw in like some sort of ballista. You can get all of your gems to be maximum level, which with bow it doesn't really matter that much in terms of upgrading your gem levels, but on like a spellcaster the upgrades are very, very important. So now we're in the desecrated chambers. Now we're going to get a staff because it's going to be required for us to finish off the axe. Crafting recipe. It was that staff that we collected earlier, I believe. It was just when you collect it again. Alright. Level up our Ice Golem. And as you level up the Ice Golem, it'll survive for a little bit, but once you get into like the higher tiers of the game, it'll just die, keep on dying consistently. Just going down. It's basically the same map that we did before. It's just the same area, but like it's in the future, so the colors have kind of changed a bit.
I'm not up to that.
All right, there we go. The Sanctum of Innocence. But what we'd ideally get is a really good 6-link bow, but that may cost a lot. And so we can get basically a really, really good bow. Like 1100 DPS. We'll see what's on the market. Just in case you guys get some good currency and you're wondering like what do I spend my money on, but honestly this bow can last us up until like red maps. This bow is pretty solid. It's like 800 and something DPS. Because lightning arrow is so dang powerful. Honestly what we get is Thunder Fist, and that will 1000% carry us without even needing a 6-link. It's a cheap way to get massive amounts of damage without a 6-link. So we got the Staff of Purity. Well, we gotta make some room, play some Tetris here for a second. It's actually not that bad. It's got life, it's got damage. If I had some crit, it would be actually like super, super good. Now we have 100% spell suppression at full life. But right now we're at 99 plus 10 at full life. So I'm gonna keep that lucky until we get another 1% somewhere. Oh, you know what we can get? The next point we get is that, oh, you know what? We can remove this right now. So we're going to refund the one where our chance to suppress is lucky, and instead I'm just going to get the one where it says we have a 15% chance to suppress spell damage if our helmet, body armor, gloves, and boots all have evasion rating, which they all have to have at least one, and then that's perfectly fine because that's what everything has. Evasion, 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 evasion. Bam, and then we are going to have 100% spell suppression, which is important. So we suppress 53% of the damage, which is massive. We got the item. Okay. So now, once we got the item, we're done with this area. Well, if I can open up a portal. We are done with this area. And what we're going to go back to, give it to him, and he'll be like, oh, I'm on fire because we gave him the staff. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Ravaged Square. Again, this is kind of our hub area here. So we have the Ossuary trial completed. Now what we're going to do is Vilenta's Vengeance. So that area is going to be down and to the left. And there's another quest that will grant you a bunch of different skills. And we're going to want that for later. It's always something I recommend for beginner players because, well, it gives you a bunch of skill gems that you may want to purchase later. And it's super helpful. So there's 2 different areas that we're going to go to. You may get to one earlier. I'm pretty sure Vilenta is going to be to the left. And the other one will be like over here. We'll see. See if it's this way. Ah, it is. Okay. So we're gonna go to the back to control blocks. We'll have the waypoint here, so this will be nice. We're gonna be fighting a boss. This boss is pretty easy though. He like flies in the sky and drops some explosives on the way down. But it's nothing to worry about. Is this out on PS5 yet? You know, I'm not sure if it's out on PS5. I mean, I know it's out on PS4, but the new league should be out because it's Tuesday, so should be ready to go. Alright, we're gonna try to teleport up. I'm doing a little dash. Fiend dagger. I don't know if this is worth anything though. Consuming Dark. We'll see. I'll scan it with my little scanner. We'll see if it's worth anything. So we have to kill Vilenta. So don't stand in those things. It's kind of hard though because it covers up like the entire screen. But another generic PoE boss. Try to be behind them. But this one, watch the lasers. I mean, it's already like almost dead. Now they're gonna fly in the air and drop some explosives. Just keep on moving and you'll be fine. You can kind of just move in a circle and the chances of it hitting you are pretty slim. this guy again. With all that spell suppression, oh man. The damage is totally fine. There we go. And that's going to give us an extra skill point. But what we're going to do is instead of going and teleporting to, we'll get a skill point here. We get another item. So we're going to grab that after because I need to see if this is worth anything. So this item, no, it's not worth anything. That one's just worth a chromatic. So now we're going to go Vilenta reward, grab this. Bam, we got another skill point. And get some more HP over here, and then we can also get some more damage. And instead of teleporting back to the Ravaged Square, we're going to go to the control blocks and go right back out, because it's going to be faster. And then we're going to do another quest. Now, this quest is technically optional, but I highly recommend for any beginner to do it, because it's going to give us a bunch of skill gems that we can access at our hideout. So we're going to the reliquary. Grab the waypoint. But we're only going to get this item and leave. About level 70. 70 is about what you should be when the game ends. But like, it doesn't really matter. If you got here, and especially the bosses in this game, like this boss you can just die in, go in, hit a couple times, died. Doesn't matter. There's no penalty for really dying earlier on. Later it will matter. Once you're like level 80 plus, dying is no good. So we got the teardrop. So we're going to give it to Lily, and she'll be able to give us a bunch of different skills. So talk to Lily. We're going to take an item as a reward, but it's just used for all of the access to basically most of the gems. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Ravaged Square. So right here. And I'll turn my cam back on. And then we just go over here and we're going to fight the final boss of the entire game. Well, for the campaign, that is. But there are other bosses at the end. These are brand new bosses. They're not like remixed campaign. No, these bosses have their own special mechanics and stuff. So, yeah. And the great thing is that I already have all of the endgame for basically this build already up. Now, there are going to be some differences for the endgame, and I'll kind of go over the League mechanic one. Because, as you guys saw, I wasn't really engaging with the brand new Ancestral stuff. The stuff that just came out this season, and it's because, well, it's not worth it. They just tweeted out on Twitter, literally yesterday, that they're going to be buffing it. So, hopefully the extra currency of the League reward will be much better. So once we're at the canals, we're just going to go up. But sometimes you can get stuck in a dead end over there, like I just did, which is unlucky. You see these, you can collect the contracts. And then you can sell the contracts if you want to as well. They're another form of endgame content. I think they're one of the easiest forms of endgame content. Because how this endgame works is there's maps that you can do. There's also different like special little things where like you can go around. This one is kind of a game where all you're doing is really running away. That's basically how heist works. You steal an item and you run away. And I genuinely feel like it's the easiest thing, and it's almost too easy. But you don't get to really fight that much stuff. You can if you want to, but the whole goal is to get the item and run away. It also has a risk factor if you rip, well, you could lose the item. So it has a little bit more of an adrenaline rush, but yeah. Hello, Elle. How you doing? Oh, you came from YouTube and following my guide? Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate the feedback. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. We're just about to finish the campaign. So we are almost finished.
This atlas has its delights.
And you can sell the rogue markers. Basically, that's the currency to go in. What is this, 10C? So you can probably sell for like 1 Chaos Orb. Alright, we are at the boss. Wow, that was so fast. Was that? It's like 21 minutes for this. And we did the tier quest. No, normally, I'd always throw a portal here because like when you die, you'd go back. But I'm pretty sure you automatically spawn there. So this is the boss. It's Katava. So they're going to throw a bunch of fire on the ground. Don't stand on the fire. That's bad. Sin and Innocence. Or was it Bannon? He got converted. So you want to attack the heart. And there's a bunch of other monsters that come out. But this should be a pretty easy fight. And if you die on it, don't worry. I may die on it too. It just sometimes the luck of the draws if he hits you really hard. Don't send the AoE. Throw a bunch of fire on the ground. Just move to the side. No problem. That attack is so... That attack... Because it hits you so many dang times. I guess I could have dashed to the other side, but we're fine. See, like, there's no real penalty at all. You're supposed to lose some XP, but it doesn't really matter at this level. On this, you don't want to stand on it. I guess the smarter play would be to stand kind of in the middle. So if he does that attack, you actually have time to move. I was actually kind of curious if we could tank it. We can't. It's really hard to tank that thing. And now we get to attack this. The heart. It's halfway dead. But after we defeat Katava, our resistances are all going to be reduced. It's to make the game harder, but it's really not that big of a deal. And then the end game starts. We summon our golem because he was getting a little low on HP. Ooh. Look at all that gear. Too bad it's mostly probably bad. You can check it out though. I mean, oh, we are out of room. Let's see. Just do it for fun. Ideally with boots, you definitely want to have movement speed, a bunch of resistances. Alright, that's fine. This is not going to be 5 linked anyways. So now we're going to talk to Sin.
It's over.
It's all ogre, this innocence. Alright, now we go to the Oriath Docks. And then we talk to Lonnie, and she will give us a 2 skill point, a book. And what are we going to put these into? Well, we can get some more damage. We're going to finish this last one off just so we have all the like HP. And then what I want to do is I want to get some extra damage. This is actually a pretty big chunk of damage. And I want to get this. So we could actually get all of these, but I want to get the... right now, since I'm not scaling crit, getting the increased chance to free shock and ignite is going to be good. So I'm going to grab these, and then we're going to basically have a like an 80% chance to shock anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Eventually you can get a 100% chance to crit, and then it makes things very, very easy to apply the shock. So that's going to wrap up Part 10, Act 10, but we're not done with the game. There is still the end game, and then we're going to go over the end game guide in the next part, because, well, this is the end of Act 10. So congratulations, if you made it here, you've completed Path of Exile. It's not an easy game, and this is a good thing that you're able to complete it, because a lot of people do not even make it to endgame. So if you made it here, honestly, congratulations, but there's so much more content to consume. The game is not even close to being like over. I mean, we spent about on average it's about 10 hours just for the campaign when I'm doing my walkthroughs and I'm explaining things, but in the end game you can spend hundreds and hundreds of hours, and it's actually like worth your time, because you actually are getting rewards relatively equivalent to the difficulty, which is a really awesome thing that Path of Exile does. But there's lots more content in the epilogue, so we're gonna cut this part for part 10, and part 11, or it'll be part 1 of the end game, will be up very soon, and you guys see it. But anyways, drop a like and away, and again, congratulations for finishing Path of Exile's campaign.